Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for 50 subscribers. I did not think we would hit that milestone so early on in this channel's lifetime. Thank you so much for 50 subscribers. I appreciate you all. Now in today's video, I would please like to remind you to like and subscribe because now we have a new channel goal to hit 75 subscribers. So that would be pretty nice if we could get me to 75 subscribers. Very nice. Thank you so much. Now let's begin today's video. Today we're going to do a video where I make an empire for my YouTube channel. So basically, first we have to choose where our empire shall begin. Now, where should it begin? Let's find a good place. I have found a good place. Our empire begins here in southern Turkey. So my empire, the Turkish Mapping Empire, will be represented in red. Very nice. This nice red color here. That will be our channel's empire. And now let's get on into the video. So the first country this empire attacks is probably, well, and definitely going to be Cyprus. Just because it's Cyprus. Anyways, so the Turkish troops, I'm saying Turkish troops, the Turkish mapping troops land in northern Cyprus and take over the country, and then the Republic of Cyprus surrenders, being completely capitulated. Now, I must also remind you guys that our empire is going to be buffed and that all alliances will be disbanded, because that would be unfair, because we didn't want our empire going against the entirety of Europe just because it declared war on Greece. No. Anyways, now the peace treaty of Nicosia. Yes, new names for treaties I have made now. The Treaty of Nicosia is Cyprus's annexed entirely. And now we have an extra nation in our Turkish mapping empire. Now the next country our empire will declare a war against is Israel and Lebanon and Palestine. So it's opposition against everyone. Whereas the troops land in southern Lebanon and northern Israel and swiftly take over the entire country of Lebanon, and they make their way down towards Jerusalem and encircle the city of Tel Aviv until they capture Jerusalem and Israel surrenders. Now, what's the peace treaty here? The peace treaty is the exact same thing, completely annexed nation. Now we have more countries in the Turkish mapping empire. Very nice. Now our empire is going very nice, very quick. Now the next country to be annexed into the Turkish empire is surprisingly going to be Tunisia. I have no idea why. Well, Tunisia, Syria, and Lebanon, of course. So I don't know why Tunisia, but maybe because they're so weak. Anyways, so the troops land in the north of Tunisia and swiftly circled the entire city of Tunis, being their capital, and they swiftly cut off the nation into 6 zones. Now all these zones collapse into the Turkish mapping empire and 6 zone surrenders. Next, the Turkish mapping troops make a spearhead towards the capital of Jordan, Amman, but they're quickly stopped on their way there, and they swiftly move up and capture the town of Aleppo in Syria. Pretty soon, Syria is soon to lose their northern half, and basically why that happens is because Syria is crippled right now. Next thing that happens is that the Turkish mapping troops managed to encircle the entire southern half and capture it all, and now Jordan soon surrenders to the Turkish mapping empire. Next, the Turkish mapping troops encircled the capital of Syria, Damascus, and they are soon forced to surrender. Let's take a look at this treaty, shall we? Well, here we have the Treaty of Damascus. So basically, the Turkish mapping empire takes over all of these nations and integrates them into the Turkish mapping empire. Soon you can see the Turkish mapping empire declaring a war against Iraq and Kuwait, hence leading to Iran joining, as well as Egypt, because why not? And we also declare war on Libya. Now this looks like the Turkish mapping empire can lose, right? Well, there's one trick up the Turkish mapping empire sleeve, and that is spamming subscribers. And by that I mean basically YouTube version of Blitzkrieg, but less brutal, I guess. Anyways, the Turkish mapping troops flood in subscribers into the nation of Libya and encircle Tripoli, and then pretty soon in the following 5 months this is what it looks like. And now in that 5 months, let me show you what has happened in the borders here. So in those 5 months you can see that the Turkish mapping empire has had some pushbacks. So here you can see they took over most of Libya, the western part of Libya. Here you can see they're being pushed back slightly by the Egyptian army, but they are pushing against the Iraqi army, but the Iranian army is pushing in the north here, in the north of Syria. Anyways, the Turkish mapping empire soon manages to capitulate Libya by capturing Tripoli, hence leading to the surrender of Libya. And soon Turkish mapping troops start moving into Egypt, pretty soon almost capturing Alexandria, but Egyptian troops make their way there and stop the capture of their major cities, but that also leads to the Egyptians having to pull out troops from the Turkish mapping empire, and that leads to the Turkish mapping empire capturing the Asian part of Egypt. Now, next thing you know, the Turkish Mapping Empire manages to capture a lot of Iraqi territory as they flood subscribers again, and they managed to cut off Kuwait from Iraq. But Kuwait is still connected through Iran. This map looks very confusing to look at. Because Iran isn't even friends with Kuwait, and they only just merely joined because Iraq or Syria. This is confusing to look at, really confusing, because this would never happen in real life. Anyways, soon this leads to Iranian soldiers having to get out of the Syrian Turkish mapping. To get out of Syrian Turkish mapping empire so that they can make a spearhead to cut to the Saudi Arabian border to cut off Saudi Arabia. Why did I say Saudi Arabia? I meant to say the Turkish Mapping Empire from the remaining Turkish Mapping Empire troops here. Soon the Turkish Mapping Empire meets the Nile River in Egypt and manages to capture cities along the western coast of the Nile, and pretty soon they begin to threaten Cairo. They capture the pyramids though, but I don't know which side the pyramids are on. This side or this side? I don't know. Anyways, the Irani troops managed to cut off the Turkish Mapping Empire from the other Turkish Mapping Empire troops. But the other Turkish Mapping Empire troops, that is a mouthful to say, managed to capture Kuwait and start pushing into Iran's major oil fields. Basically, this entire zone here is Iran's major oil fields. Well, pretty soon, all of them are captured here. The oil zone, I like to call this zone, is entirely captured. Thus, the Iranis have to pull out of Syria to focus on recapturing the oil field. Pretty soon, the Irani troops managed to push the Turkish Mapping Empire troops out of the eastern half of the oil zone of Iran, but the Turkish Mapping troops managed to cut Iraq in half, and literally Baghdad is in danger. Pretty soon, 2 months later, this is what the fronts look like. So in 2 months' time, this is what it looks like. So you can see the Turkish mapping troops have been almost completely pushed out of the Iran oil zone, and also almost completely pushed out of northern Iraq. But pretty soon, in 5 days' time, they encircled Baghdad and captured it, leading to the collapse of Iraq and the surrender of the Iraqi government. Even though there are Irani troops here, we just kind of have to cease to exist. Now, this leads to some pretty heavy pushbacks from Iran, but the Turkish mapping troops have trouble because Iran has lost some mountains along here, here, basically Iran is a giant square of mountains. Everywhere Iran goes, sees everything Iran is a mountain. Maybe that's why they are so difficult to find out what's going on in there. I don't think no one would want to find out what's going on in there. Pretty soon the Turkish mapping troops make a spearhead towards the capital Tehran, which is right here, by the way, so they almost capture it. And this is at the moment where the Iranian government manages to seal a peace deal with the Turkish mapping empire government, so they basically peace out. Now the Turkish mapping empire only has to focus on Egypt, and they manage to pass through the Suez, and pretty soon they capture Cairo, and then when they capture a bit more land, the entire Suez land, may I mention that Egypt surrenders. I said surrenders. Now let's take a look at the peace treaty here, shall we? So the first treaty here is the Treaty of Tehran, which basically the Turkish mapping empire captures all of the fertile crescent land except a few of the ones that Saudi Arabia and Egypt has, and they basically captured this much land from Iran, and now that's basically it. And Iran is also replaced with the pro-Turkish mapping empire government. Now let's take a look at the next treaty, which is in between this country, I forgot its name somehow, Libya, Egypt, and the Turkish mapping empire. I've thought of it again. Let's go. So here we have the Treaty of Cairo, which basically Turkish mapping empire gets all of Libya, most of Egypt, and puppets the rest of Egypt, because what are you gonna do? Let them free? They're literally so crippled. They are going to probably get invaded soon. Anyways, that's the Treaty of Cairo. So what's the next thing that's surprising that happens? Let's take a look at the maps again, shall we? I wonder what country we should go to war with next. I say, as I declare war on all the Middle East. Seriously, literally all of the Middle East. And Iran joins me because they have pro-Turkish mapping empire government now. I forgot to mention that, didn't I? Anyways, this also leads to this, because they want their lands in Adana, and because they want their lands in Antalya and Adana back. So that is understandable. Anyways, so this country also joins. Very nice. Maybe because this is their greatest ally. The next country to join, because Azerbaijan joined, is Armenia, and the next country to join is Georgia. The more countries, the better. The next country to join is Greece. Yes. Greece joins on a different team. Let's say that. Yes. Because I don't want... Well, Greece joins on a different team because they don't really like us, though. Anyways, well, shall we begin this war, this humongous war? I say we shall. Alright, the first thing to happen, Azerbaijan's exclave, it's captured by Iranian troops. Surprisingly, not Armenian troops. but Iranian troops basically capture all this land, and they're gone. Adios, my friend. Anyways, Armenia then joins Greece because they just decide to join Greece. So basically, basically, this is the land they're gonna get out of Azerbaijan, not this one as well. Anyways, they push into Georgia, which is basically almost non-existent because of Azerbaijan not being almost non-existent. Anyways, the Turkish mapping empire and Iranian troops push in through the south, even connect to the rest of the Turkish mapping empire troops, while the Turkish army is destroying Greek cities, and they capture this insert Greek city name, which is difficult to pronounce. This one here, which goes like this, Thessaloniki, something like that. Anyways, soon the Turkish mapping empire captures. I cannot speak properly for no reason. Captures some more land from the Turkish nation, and the Turkish army begins to push in and begins to capture some of the Turkish mapping empire's lands. Anyways, the Saudi, UAE and Omani troops make a landing in southern Iran at this little place here. I don't know what to call it. It's like a strait, precisely at the strait there, and they begin to basically push Iran around everywhere. But Iran doesn't have most of its troops here like you would think. It actually expected this to happen, so it has some of its troops moving from here to down here, and this is where the troops are positioned right now. And in a few days time they make it down to the border, while in a few days time the blue team, I'm just gonna call the blue team the Allies. Okay, is that fine? Okay, I'll take that as yes. Well, that doesn't mean we are the Axis though. Definitely doesn't. The Axis have done some pretty bad things. Not just the ones in World War II, especially the ones in World War... Okay, this is getting off topic. Anyways, basically, pretty soon the Iranis start fighting, and they're pretty good at it. So they managed to push the troops back pretty well, especially as the other as the Allies' troops came unprepared for the mountains. Soon, the Turkish mapping empire troops begin pushing into the Saudi Arabian Fertile Crescent region. If you have no idea what the Fertile Crescent region is, it's not what you think it is. Well, it might be what you think it is, but it's basically this entire place here. That's basically because there's rivers that run through here, and it's basically where plants can grow in the Middle East. So, the more you know. With Turkish mapping troops also push out the Turkish army from their nation, and they begin pushing hard and pretty well as well. I don't know why it sounds weird when I say as well. Anyways, the Georgian army manages to recapture their capital of Tbilisi, and they capture Yerevan, and Armenia surrenders. That's something I never thought I would hear in my life, or but might have thought I would hear in my life. Anyways, some Iranian troops that were still there managed to capture the rest of the Armenian army that haven't surrendered to Georgia yet. So they surrendered to Iran instead. Very nice. Well, RIP Azerbaijan. Anyways, very sad. And pretty soon, let's focus on Greece with the Turkish army pushing them out of Crete, and they capture Sparta. Anyways, the Turkish army begins to push, and they pretty soon capture where the Olympics first happened. Olympia. Or was it Olympus? I don't know. Last time I checked, it was a Greek city name in ancient Greece. Anyways, pretty soon Greece surrenders because there's nowhere left. Literally nowhere left to fight for, because it's just Athens left. Anyways, soon the Turkish mapping empire troops begin a push down. And did you know there's a city in Saudi Arabia called Hail? Well, it's spelled Hail in English. I don't know if it's a major city, but they make a spearhead towards it. It's like here or here. Somewhere there, and they capture it. Which scares the Saudi Arabian government, which can also lead to the capture of Riyadh, Jeddah, and other major Saudi Arabian cities, which probably some of them I have never heard of because I've never been to Saudi Arabia. Anyways, they capture where the Line City project was supposed to be. Adios to that project idea. The idea is still there, but it won't be built there anymore. Anyways, pretty soon this spearhead manages to become bulkier and bulkier with more troops every day, as pretty soon they make another spearhead to encircle this huge Saudi Arabian army here, which is basically has tens to the thousands of millions soldiers, and they encircle them very well, as these armies pretty soon run out of resources, food, ammo, and they all collapse. Anyways, that is a huge morale loss for the Saudi Arabian army, as from now on they begin not being able to push back as well as normal as they can. Basically, all they can do is lose territory and more territory, on and on, until a Saudi Arabian military general says that they need to stop retreating, and they form a military defense line, and they push back the Turkish mapping empire almost all the way until this city here, and they even cut some off and capture them. Now let's focus on something that happens here. Iranian troops land in this place, which is actually Oman, but then they push into UAE and capture the mountains that go along here. They encircle Muscat. These men did not expect any of that. Yemen changes sides and tries to push into Saudi Arabia, but sucks at it, so they get destroyed. They get pummeled, basically. Gone. Anyways, pretty soon they lose both their capitals, or one of their capitals. Well, it's confusing. Anyways, Yemen is gone. Everyone is like Yemen, and Oman, who's losing, is like Oman, and they lose their capital and they surrender. So they also lose their troops that they had here. So those are now going to fight back, and soon these troops manage to push into Saudi Arabian territory, and they push deep, trying to flank the armies and make a spearhead towards Jeddah, Mecca, and other major cities around that area. And they do so successfully, circling each one of them. Anyways, Mecca is gone, Jeddah is gone, and another major city there is gone. Anyways, Saudi Arabia literally loses access to all its Red Sea coast, and these troops here, they just surrender. Because they literally lose morale so much. Anyways, the Turkish mapping army is pushed back pretty well in the Turkish regions, and they lose some of their gains pretty hard, like that, in a snap of a button, or well, in a snap of a second. I don't know the saying, not a good one at sayings. Anyways, but the Turkish mapping empire army can regroup and manage to recapture most of that lands that they lost. Anyways, pretty soon Saudi Arabia loses its access to the Gulf, and Bahrain and Qatar surrender following the encirclement of the United Arab Emirates and the capture of their capital Abu Dhabi, and the capture of their major city Dubai. Where am I? I think I'm dead now because my house just blew up. I wonder why. Anyways, pretty soon these troops make a spearhead towards Riyadh, and that's when the Saudi Arabian government decides to surrender, but they cannot surrender until they literally capitulate somehow. New rule that someone has put into place. Wonder who that someone could be. Anyways, basically desert, major city, and surrender of Saudi Arabia. And now we can take a look at the signing of this peace treaty today. Alright, so here is the Treaty of Riyadh. So here you can see the Turkish, that Turkey took this land from Greece, but they lost this land from us, of course. Armenia doesn't exist. We puppeted Iran and Azerbaijan, even though Iran was on our side, because they have pro-government. Let me remind you that again. Anyways, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman Oman kind of. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar doesn't exist anymore because they're now in the Turkish mapping empire. Anyways, we also have Yemen becoming a puppet, even though they were on our team, because we managed to convince them. We also have Oman becoming a puppet. Now, one tiny thing that we managed to sneak into the treaty is that we annexed Azerbaijan. So now it's the puppets of Azerbaijan and Iran. The Turkish mapping puppet state of Azerbaijan and Iran. And another thing we managed to sneak in is that we basically captured more land than we needed to from Iran. That's good or bad? Well, it's good. Good for us. Very nice. Really nice. Benefits, benefits, benefits. Now, this will benefit us for a lot of reasons, because now, this time, we get the entire Iranian oil zone I mentioned earlier. Also, if you didn't understand by now, you'd have no chance to win this war. Absolutely no chance to win this war. Well, this isn't your country's video. This is my YouTube channel's video. This is literally a 50 subscribers special video. I think I forgot to say that in the beginning. Anyways, now this is the Turkish mapping empire. This is basically the entire Turkish mapping empire right here. A new world power it is. Now this country is very nice now because it's our YouTube channel empire. If you like this video, please smash that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. And please destroy that like button. And please try and get me to 75 subscribers. Thank you so much. Now I will see you all in the next video. Peace.